Have you ever wondered why your opponents played like they're map hacking? Have you been in situations where you can never find your opponent's ward no matter how many sentry you placed? Hey guys, this is DATOHLEONG, and in this video you will see 10 warning tricks that you should know. Number 1. Buy the wards. You can't plant the wards if you didn't buy it in the first place. The best thing is, wards are free. Every reward gives you more than 100 gold and you make profit from that. And you know what else can make you profit? Repeat.gg. Repeat.gg is an online platform where you can get paid when you perform well in your daily rank games. If you are going to be playing ranked anyways, why not profit from it? Sign up for my very own event for free and start profiting. In cases where you plant a sentry on the high ground and you spotted an enemy sentry without an observer ward, you should not deward that sentry. Sentry only gives vision for a few seconds and they will not see the high ground after that. If you deward the sentry and place an observer ward, your opponents will simply come with another sentry to check the heal again. So it is a pointless sentry battle. Instead, simply don't touch the sentry at all and plant your observer ward. Your opponents won't see this coming. Most of the time, when you're playing support, you're kind of poor and you don't want to spend money on unnecessary sentries. Therefore, you should not plant your sentries on the hill unless it is still in the early game or you are sure that your opponents have a ward there. This is because hill ward will leave many gaps on the ground, and if you don't find any wards on the hill, you are going to have to spend even more sentries looking for ward. Plant your sentries on the low ground that covers multiple hills and use your spells or careers to scout the high ground. This way, you can cover more grounds with lesser sentries. Now, it is really common for supports to get chased by creeps because you're weak AF in the early game and you can't clear creep waves. But it is not common for creeps to chase you up the high ground. That is because if creeps lose vision, they will lose aggro. So let us make use of this mechanic to our advantage to find a ward. Teamfight wards are usually used during the night time or when you are fighting up the high ground. The purpose of the ward is to give your team a slight vision advantage to secure clean kills, as you don't really want to waste time and spells to chase out of vision range. Teamfight wards are placed with the sole purpose of giving your team the better teamfight, so you want to plant it immediately when the teamfight begins and you don't have to worry about getting dewarded afterwards. Gems are usually picked up during the later stages of the game when teams run out of sentries or feel extremely comfortable holding one. Because carrying the sentry allows you to check for wards on the ground, many might miss the wards that are on the hill and opt to get extra sentries to look for a hill ward. Here is a cheap trick with the gem. When your enemies are far away and you're looking to check the hill for ward, place the gem near the hill. The AoE true sight will provide you with the ground vision you need to deward the hill. During the mid to late game, certain heroes are known to be shoving out waves or just farming defensively alone. This is where a lane ward comes in. Don't get me wrong, you can use this lane ward in the early game as well, but let me focus on this specific and common situation. For either team to be able to make plays on the map, they will need to push out the waves because creeps are vision and territory. If you can get a lane ward down way before the lane shoving happens, you can catch these cores trying to shove waves before the plays even happen, and that will definitely ruin their game. Rotation wards are placed with the purpose of preventing a flank. You don't want to be caught in a position where the enemies are in front of you and behind of you at the same time. These ward placements tend to be in the jungle or up the hills in between two lanes, so the only way you can get ganked by is with a smoke, so watch out for that. In some scenarios where your high ground ward keeps getting scouted and dewarded, you might want to try this kind of ward. I call it the half fuck heal ward, but you can call it whatever you want. The idea is to make sure that a single high ground sentry does not see the ward. To do that, you want to place a sentry on the top of the hill to check if there is any wards. Then you want to place the observer ward on the lower part of the hill so it won't get scouted by a sentry. And if your opponents have sloppy warders, then they might think that you're just map hacking. However, you have to be careful not to plant the ward too near to the edge of the cliff because it still can be scouted if your opponents are really near to the cliff. Now, this trick is very useful when you're equal in farm and you don't intend to stay at your opponent's jungle for a long time. The idea is to place 2 observer wards in the same area outside of a single sentry range. This way, when your opponent finds an observer ward, they might think that the area is clear of wards, but actually, it's still warded. Wards are also known to be used to block neutral camps, so here's a trick to take advantage of that. In some cases where your opponents don't have any heroes to kill the ancient neutrals, you can plant an observer ward on the camp for vision. Since they are never going to hit the camps, they will never suspect that it is warded. Now that you're amazing at warding and dewarding, it is time to shine as a support. This week, Repeat.gg and I will be hosting a support event. The rules are simple: score points by having a good KDA, meaning low deaths and high assists. And of course, winning is important as well. It is free to enter and links are in the description.